Hello again, mathletes. Miss Rhodes here to talk about multiplying rational expressions as well as dividing rational expressions. So, for my step peoples, because I know a lot of you guys are like to have steps to solve things. So for my step people, I wrote out 5 steps for you. The first thing you are going to do is factor everything. That's right, everything. The next thing is if there are multiple terms in the numerator or denominator, you are going to draw parentheses. And let me make sure that I spell this correct. There we go. Parentheses around them. So for example, if you have x plus 3 over 2x minus 1, we're going to put parentheses around them. And the reason why we're going to do that is because sometimes people want to kill kittens and they're going to try to cancel out these x's. But those x's cannot be canceled out. So in order to save the lives of many loving kittens, we are going to put parentheses around our terms. Next, we are going to multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators, and then we are going to reduce. So, you guys may want to see some examples of that, so I am going to move forward real quick to look at the examples of those before we go over the dividing. So our first example is 12c cubed over 21b times 14b squared over 6c. So our first step is we're going to factor everything. Since I don't have any addition symbols, I don't really need to put any parentheses around there. So I know that some of you guys are already interested in reducing some of these terms, so I'm going to say yes, let's do that. So 12 and 21 both can be divided by 3, so I'm going to reduce that to 4 over 7. Then what I am going to do is I see that 14 and 6 can be reduced by 2. So I'm going to reduce that to 7 over 3. Then for some of my OGs that can think back all the way to when Miss Calloway or another 6th grade teacher taught you, you can see that these 7s can cancel out too. So I'm going to cross out both 7s because both of them cancel out. Finally, we're going to cancel out our factors, our variables. So my C's and B's, I'm going to cancel this C out with one of these C's, so that leaves me with C squared. Then I can cancel this B out with one of these B's, so this B is just going to be squared is just going to become B. Once you multiply across, we see that I have 4 times, and our 7 got canceled, so that's basically a 1. So 4 times 1 is 4. Then that leaves me with C squared and just a B to the 1 or B. Then I'm going to multiply my denominators. And again, this got canceled out, so 1 over 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. And then my B's and my C's canceled out, so that is all what's left in our numerator or denominator. So that is our final answer. Example B now. As you can see, our factors already have parentheses around them. On the first term that we're multiplying. The second one does not, so we are going to put parentheses around the x plus 4. So you can hopefully see that this factor can be canceled. Now, unlike the first example, I'm going to go ahead and multiply across first instead of canceling like factors, so you can see if that is a preferred method of yours. So I'm going to have x plus 4 times x minus 5 times my 6x all over And then I have x squared times x plus 4. Now I can reduce this way. As you can see, you have factors of x plus 4 in both the numerator and denominator. And then what you can see is you have 1x on top and you have an x squared on bottom. So one of these x's, the x on the top, can cancel out, and this x squared now reduces to just 1x. So once you reduce, you are going to have 6, and I'm going to bring this 6 to the front, but we can go ahead and distribute that. 6 times x is going to be 6x. Then I have 6 times negative 5, which is going to be a negative 30. And finally, the only thing that's left in your denominator is an x. So that is your final answer for example B. Finally, example C, we have to factor, and I'm going to assume that you have already factored this, or you can factor it using the box method or the X method. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you that it's n plus 2 times n minus 1 all over n plus 2, and I'm going to put parentheses around my factoring to make sure that I don't kill a kitten. And then I'm going to have 4n all over, and I'm going to put parentheses around my factor of n minus 1. Then we're going to multiply across. So again, you just, or if you want, you can just draw across since all of these are factored. And then we can cancel. I have n plus 2 and n plus 2 that can cancel out. And I also have an n minus 1 on both the numerator and denominator that cancels out, which leaves me with just a 4n in the numerator. So your final answer is just going to be 4n. Next, you are going to have practice of multiplying rational expressions, and once Miss Callaway or Miss Luviano give you a thumbs up that you can go ahead and move to dividing rational expressions, you can come back to the next video and see how you divide.